Hey, everybody, I don't know about you, but as you've watched out over the world, the war in Russia and Ukraine is not just isolated to Eastern Europe. It's spread all over the world, and you can see it in market instabilities. You can see it here. People who do not think that that war is affecting you, all you got to do is look at gas prices. You look at your food prices. You see the global change that has happened. But you know something that's also affected investments as well. And I've said all along, legacy precious metals is your navigator. They're the ones that see you through to get to the next level. The good news about this is even with market volatility, market instability, you've got options. And gold prices are rising as investors turn to gold. And gold presents a hedge against this inflation and that protects you against the weakening dollar, which we are seeing. Legacy Precious Metals is the only company I trust to deal with gold and silver and the other precious metals. You need this investment. You need this as part of your portfolio to keep you buffered from what we're seeing in the world, war and volatility in the market. This is where you need to be. Call Legacy Precious Metals today. Be proactive about this. Get on board with it. Call them at 866-528-1903, 866-528-1903, or you can download their free investor's guide at legacypminvestments.com. legacypminvestments.com, your navigator in a volatile world of investments.
Do you want to listen to a podcast?
By who?
Georgia GOP Congressman Doug Collins.
How is it?
The greatest thing I have ever heard in my whole life.
I could not believe my ears.
In this house, wherever the rules are disregarded, chaos and mob rule. It has been said today, where is bravery? I'll tell you where bravery is found and courage is found. It's found in this minority who has lived through the last year of nothing but rules being broken, people being put down, questions not being answered, and this majority say, be damned with anything else. We're going to impeach and do whatever we want to do. Why? Because we won an election. I guarantee you, one day you'll be back in the minority and it ain't gonna be that fun.
Okay, look, James, this is stupid. I mean, I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. We're in the, this week, we hopefully, we're winning the national title. But before we even get there, they're not even letting us tailgate. If you come to University of Georgia, go to TCU, the Horned Frog, go anywhere, Texas. Look, what is this stupidity about not tailgating at SoFi? This is just dumb.
The people who thought of the idea of not tailgating should be arrested. I genuinely don't. I guess I can see. I don't really know the reasoning. We've tailgated for however long football has been around. It's just the way you do things, and then you're just going to stop it on arguably the most important game it is the most important game in college football. Like I just don't.
Oh, it is. I mean, look. You got Modelo running commercials with fans out in the stands when it's blizzard conditions tailgating. Are you kidding me?
That's outside of this game, the most the heaviest games are rivalry games, right?
Yep, very much.
Could you imagine if you stopped tailgating at a Michigan-Ohio State game?
Or a Georgia anybody game. I mean, one of the main reasons we have season tickets and we go to the same parking lot every time. We set up our Blackstone. We get our food out there. We have our coolers. Everybody comes along. 92,000 people in Athens, 150,000 in an Ohio State Michigan game. Yeah, I mean, what? I mean, is this Southern California going amok? I mean, what is this stupidity?
This is an accident waiting to happen, and I'll tell you why. The pre-gaming that is going to go on before this game.
Yeah.
And I think everyone understands what pre-gaming is. The drinking. People are going to do at home knowing full well that they can't tailgate. Because when you tailgate, you have what? You have 3, 4, 5 hours to get – people like this – people spend all day there. People will camp at night if it's possible.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
People are going to just – people are I don't know how to put it, like – if you don't have to be somewhere early, people are late. People are going to be slugging drinks with like 30 minutes to go before they got to leave. There's going to be some stupid, drunk people at this game. Not that there already weren't going to be.
Yeah.
Now you take the tailgating away, which spreads it out a little bit.
I get it. I mean, my next question is just stupid. This is from the For What It's Worth department today. I mean, like, really? I mean, before this ever happened, and again, this week having no tailgating at the game, and by the time you hear this, of course, you'll find out how this all goes. But I mean, look at it from this perspective. This is just dumb. It was a dumb decision made by dumb people who don't get it. And if this is what it means by taking college football off of Saturday, I'm all for putting college football back on Saturday, even for the national championship game.
I'm with you. I cannot think of a reason to stop tailgating at a football game. I'm sure there's a list, and they can give it to me in front of my face, and I would just throw it in the garbage because it makes no sense. This is a sport.
It doesn't make any sense.
Half the reason to go to a football game is tailgating. This is a good example. I'm a Vikings fan, right? So any other team I see,
painfully aware of that. Yeah.
Is that do people know that about me? All right. So any other team I see, I've lived in New Jersey my whole life, and I'm in Dallas now. Any other team I see doesn't really matter to me. So when I go to those games, the reason I go is because I'm going to go have a good time for about 3 hours in a parking lot with my friends, and then I get to go watch a game. Half the money you're spending at the these tickets are insane prices. Part of it is the experience of tailgating. Do you know what these prices are going to be for this game? And you're going to tell people they can't get there and party beforehand? In football terms, it's sacrilegious, is what it is.
It's just, again, like I said, you're coming from in both these teams. I mean, look, the TCU and Georgia both come from, really historic, and you almost say it about almost any college, but I mean, it's historic tailgating. I mean, if this is SoFi, and what's really interesting here is I don't get this, and I've been trying to find it, and this rant will go on for a little bit, but they normally do it for the pro games. They've not understood why they're banning this for this game.
Doug, I can't. I'm looking at it and I don't see a real reason other than, I guess they're just worried about people. Whether it's worried about people being over intoxicated or maybe they don't have enough room. I don't really know a good reason. They're not giving us a good enough reason, because you can't tell me I can't tailgate at a football. I'm getting upset over something that doesn't really matter because I won't be there, but it is ridiculous. It makes no sense.
But this is why we do it is. I mean, look at it. I mean, we look at so many of this stuff, and it's just it's just ridiculous as we go. But anyway, moving along, another issue that is just amazingly stupid here is we move along is this idea. And James, as I look back on this for what it's worth, kind of thing, and say, what is it with ESPN and the networks? And I've been involved a little bit with sports betting. ESPN, all the Major League Baseballs have entered into partnerships. DraftKings, the other sports bets and everything out there. Caesars is all over the TV with their sports betting, MGM. I mean, everything else. And you even have NFL and these others, bet responsibly ads, kind of thing. But yet, just this past a week or so, you're banning athletes from betting on other sports? I mean, okay. At what point have we taken this too far? And we can even open this up to the stupidity of Pete Rose being kept out of the Hall of Fame. Okay, really?
The Pete Rose conversation is definitely one to have. Doug, I don't know about you, but I love losing $200 on a Sunday. And I
prefer winning $200. I'm not sure about you, but I mean, hey, I can arrange for $200 to come to my account every week, bud.
Listen, I love gambling. I do. I'm the kind of person that's like, maybe you should watch him because he might get addicted to it. But I do. I really enjoy it so much. And when DraftKings hit, because it hit New Jersey first, we were the first to get legal gambling, sports
after
gambling.
PASPA. And you know who you can thank for that? Chris Christie.
I know, of all the people.
Yep.
It was
amazing.
It was the one. It was like his lasting legacy. He was like, I'm going to destroy New Jersey for a little bit, but before I finish, here's gambling. No, but in all seriousness, the idea that an athlete can't gamble on another sport, which I'm sorry, I didn't see this is posted anywhere, so I don't know. I didn't know that they're saying like LeBron James couldn't bet on a Dallas Cowboys game. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, it's something of that effect. And it was coach banned. It was coach banned for betting, and it's like, but I mean the whole thing. I mean, just take it up a step. Why is it I mean, look, I can understand at least the monumental argument. I can understand how you keep Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire and some of these guys out of the Baseball Hall of Fame. Okay, if you want to,
They cheated.
Hypocritically, but if you want to proclaim that they use steroids or whatever, fine.
Yes.
But okay, Pete Rose did not even bet on his own games. I mean, he bet on baseball, but it wasn't his own games. And the one I'm talking about is Miles Austin, coach of New York Jets, received an indefinite suspension because he bet on he wagered from a legal mobile account on table games and non-NFL professional sports. Miles did not wager on any NFL games in violation of the gambling policy of NFL personnel. He is fully cooperated with the NFL investigation. Are you kidding me?
I don't understand. So what we're saying is a man who was in the NFL for what? Miles Austin was in the league for like 8 years, something like that. Maybe I'm overdoing it. So he made millions of dollars. Now he's a coach and he's probably making a steady 100, 200K, whatever they make. If I had that money, I'd be gambling it. And now you're telling me this man who's worked his tail off to make those millions can't gamble a little bit of it because he works for an NFL team? He's doing table games, nothing to do with the actual sport. He's not even betting on sports. He's doing table games.
No. Well, it's even James, it gets worse. I mean, I'm a Falcons fan. I'm a Raiders fan. Look, it's not been the best of few years for us, okay? I get it. But yet Calvin Ridley, who could have helped us when he was injured in Florida, away from the team, bets on NFL games. I mean, what are they saying? Well, he's an NFL player. He's got insight. Oh,
listen.
I mean, really?
This is and always will stem from, well, okay, yes, there's always been the mafia betting on games, and we can go back all the way to the White Sox, and we can come back to, college games that were bet on in the 80s, all that stuff, whatever. I guess I can understand not letting them bet on their own sport. Even then, it really shouldn't matter as long as it's up front. Like, if they're hiding that they're gambling on it, then yes, there's probably a problem. But if they're upfront about gambling on something, so they might know that their friend is out of the game. You know who else knows? Every other person that exists on this planet knows the injury report. Okay? He has to bet when the game starts, whatever. Like I think the rules are, again, like you said, they're so absurdly hypocritical. And Pete Rose not being in the Hall of Fame is beyond ridiculous.
Is a trap, and they just turned him down again. I mean, the man doesn't have a lot longer.
No,
I mean, really, have we not punished one of the best Johnny Hustle? I mean, have you not punished this guy enough? I mean, it's really, but it's sort of one of my last sort of issues as we come into this for on a Friday here is the realization that the professional sports teams, the leagues, maintain relationships with Caesars, DraftKings, and FanDuel.
Yeah, they're making money off of it, but their own players should be absolutely banished from a sport because they gambled on it. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense.
Here's an interesting fact. I didn't know before I had to deal with it when I was in Congress on this PASPA issue, which was the issue that brought out sports betting and online sports betting, that the major scandals that have been uncovered in like college football and some of the other sports, I don't think most people realize that the ones who actually blew the whistle on, I think it was the guy down in, I can't remember, he's down in Louisiana or Mississippi, he was throwing games. Basically, he was working, he was lying. It was the sports betting people who began to notice it. It was the sport, because look, what we forget about is sports betting is not just, hey, me and you throw in $10. These companies have to know what they're doing to make money. And so they want a fair sports experience more than anybody because they've got actual skin in the game. You take away these sports betting folks, you actually lose one of your eyes on are these games being played fairly?
Yeah, because if Vegas finds out a couple of games are rigged, they're going to lose all their money. They lose everything. They get cleaned out. And I know this also stems from I'm blanking on his name right now, but Donaghy, the referee in the NBA.
Oh yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah, that whole thing, that is probably why. I mean, for all we know, sports gambling could have come in a little earlier. I think it's the fact that we can have it on our phones is what made it happen. But But he's a culprit. He is like a, hey, this is why we don't gamble on games, and that lasted a little too long.
But they found it. They found it. On a quick side note, not going to spend a lot of time here, but I think it is interesting for all of our gun folks on this podcast. You know that I'm a owner of many guns and also love to shoot. And we've had a lot of folks on here, but I think it's just an interesting thing. My gun store owner friends love Democrat administrations and Democrat Congresses. Why? Because they sell more guns. I made a joke a long time ago. I said that the gun industry ought to give President Obama a lifetime sales achievement award. Going into it, one of our next topics here, 16.4 million guns sold in 2022. I mean, I'm for responsible gun ownership, love it, but it is just amazing to me, you know, that we continue to have this argument in the United States. There's so many other things we can do. Just a random thought here. Again, the more you bring it to the attention, the more people think they're going to get taken away. What actually happens, James? They buy the guns.
I was just about to ask you. I was going to say, is it just the fear of like, hey, we're going to take your guns away? They're like, all right, well, I'm going to buy them before you do, Chief.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the folks that – oh, yeah. The AR-15 manufacturers, the Armalite, you know, folks, I mean, the funny thing is those AR-15 style guns, they can't keep them in stock. I mean, even people who may not want them are buying them because there's this threat that we're going to, you know, do away with them. And again, just all the lies and everything that go with it. But yeah, 16.4 million. I think Joe Biden now is trying to get into the Gun Sales Hall of Fame with President Obama. So, you know,
it's all a ploy.
We'll see how that turns out.
They're invested in the guns too. It's all a ploy. No, I'm just kidding. It's so funny. I was saying to you before that, you know, New Jersey's a mixed bag politically. It really is. But if there's one thing about where I live, and that's North Jersey, we love our guns. Everyone I know from high school, we ride quads and we shoot guns, and we have a good time doing it. And like I said, one of my friends, his love for hunting is it's everything to him, and he's the most liberal person you've ever met. So it's not even worth having the conversation.
It's not transcendent. Anyway, all right, another for what it's worth, moving on. This one is a sort of, goes back to my time, and, you know, we could input, going back to movies from the 80s. You from North Jersey, I mean, this is an interesting time, but the malls were the thing. And I remember growing up in the movies here in North Georgia. I mean, we had our own, what I call small mall. And then all of a sudden we started having the big malls, about 30 minutes, 45 minutes down from our more toward Atlanta. And now there is the idea that the malls are dying, you know, the Spicolis of the world and Fast Times at Ridgemont High and all the stories from the teen heartbreak, the John Hughes movies and all seem to be going away. There's actually a Wikipedia entrance called Dead Malls, James. Dead Malls, in which these malls are just empty.
You know, I thought maybe with the show Stranger Things, when they had the big season 3 with the mall, I heard there was like a spike in people going to malls. And how quickly that died when all of those kids remembered they could go on Amazon from their bedroom and get the exact same thing. It is. Listen, I know you said when you were younger. I'm a 90s baby, so I am right before.
I was having, but my wife and I were having babies in the 90s.
Listen, we can talk about our ages, but there's one thing we can agree on is I was born at the time, right? Like my generation is the one that got into everything that has to do with the internet, and that is including the online shopping. But before that, our parents used to take a couple of us, drop us off in the mall, and then we would go do stupid stuff and buy what we could with the little money that we had because we just got our paychecks from whatever stupid restaurant let 13-year-olds work. And that's the way it works. You know?
We may even think calling this segment the death of a babysitter, but it's also bringing back music. You talked about Stranger Things. Here's a real interesting one. Bring back this song. My kids asked me about this, and the funniest question was this song from the 80s.
Oh,
Running Up That Hill.
Yes.
And My kids asked me, this was the
Listen.
craziest part. My kids came home and they asked me during Christmas, they said, Dad, did you ever remember that song when it was actually on the radio? It's like, really?
No.
Guys, come on. You know,
You felt really old
yeah,
when
I
they
did.
said that, right?
But I willingly said, yep, I remember it well. But here's the funny part. For those of us who like music, the first segment that I just played for you that you maybe could hear there, is that dun dun. You know what? Actually, it also entwined to the 90s. It's if you put the ER, the TV show ER, their intro music and that song together, they sampled from each other. They had to.
Of course they
Yeah,
did.
it was pretty wild.
Listen, and you know what? It stinks that malls are dead. I mean, I think about the movie Mallrats by Kevin Smith. What a weird movie that is.
Mall Cop,
But
Paul Blart. There we go, baby.
Paul Blart. You know what? That movie might have been the death of malls. I think that's what did it. That we all had to watch that movie and go, oh, okay. Thank you, Kevin James, for ruining malls.
There you go, Mall Cop. All right, well, folks, for those of us listening, this is, I'm done with it. I'm done with these sorts of things, but we don't bring these out. Thanks, James. We'll pick this up again next Friday. We'll see you later. Hey folks, MyPillow is excited to bring to you their biggest bedding sale ever. For a limited time, you're going to get the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, a set of pillowcases for only $9.98, and rejuvenate your bed with a MyPillow mattress topper for as low as $99.99. $99.99. Get a mattress pillow topper. Look, they come in all sizes. They got all kinds of stuff. Blankets. They've got duvets. They've got quilts. They got comforters. They got body pillows. They got bolster pillows. They got all that big discounts. And also, they're extending their money-back guarantee for Christmas until March 1, 2023, making them the perfect gift for your friends, your family, and for everyone you know. Folks, and just from a personal note here, I have the Giza Dream Sheets. They're on my bed right now. I slept on them last night. Some of the best sheets that we and Lisa and I have ever owned. They are worth, at this price, they're a steal. My wife and I have bought bed sheets, linens at much higher cost. It's supposedly much higher quality. These from MyPillow are at the highest of quality, and at a price like this, you can't beat it. So go now to MyPillow.com, use promo code Collins, COLLINS, or call 1-800-986-3994, and you'll get huge discounts on all the MyPillow bedding products, including the Giza Dream bed sheets for as low as $29.98, and get all your shopping done while qualities last. And remember, put in that promo code Collins for these discounts.